Hey everyone, my name is Remy Ortiz and I'm here to bring you a review on the Samsung Galaxy S6. Now I don't have the Edge variant here, this is the standard S6, but I'm going to get into everything as soon as I go over a couple of little disclaimers here with you. First things first, I got the S6 in some convoluted mess with T-Mobile. I do have to send it back, but until I have to, I'm going to go ahead and play with it and tell you guys what I think about it, especially coming from, devices like the HTC One line. Now, just to preface everything, I'm not a Samsung fan. I mean, my entire lineup has been smartphones. Samsung Instinct, which was a meh smartphone, and as you can tell, I was with Sprint before T-Mobile, but going on, we have the HTC Hero, the Samsung Galaxy S2, the Evo 4G, again by HTC, the Evo 4G LTE, the HTC One M7, then the M8, and now the M9. I have, again, the S6 here for reviewing, and then I'm sending it back to T-Mobile, again, with the whole convoluted mess that I've had. So you know exactly where I'm coming from as far as, what I'm used to as far as the, I guess, more businessy approach of sense versus the organic and cartoonishness of the of TouchWiz. Now the phone itself. Let's go over the stats. So to start off, we have Samsung's Exynos 7420 octa-core processor, which is essentially two quad cores working in tandem. You have the 1.5 gigahertz for your lower end menial tasks, and then you have the 2.1 gigahertz higher end quad core processor for anything that's a little bit more intensive. You have 3 gigs of RAM at DDR4 to help with all your multitasking. Forget the Mali number, but it's a very powerful GPU, equal to or greater than the Adreno 430 out of Qualcomm. You have on the screen is a 2560 by 1440p resolution with Super AMOLED technology. For anyone that is trying to do math, that 2560 by 1440 over 5.1 inches gives you 577 pixels per inch, making it the densest display to hit the States ever. You have your f1.95 megapixel camera with a wide angle lens up here. You also have your light sensor and proximity sensor up here along with your receiver. Beneath the display you have your home button, which also acts as a fingerprint scanner. It's a tap versus a slide gesture that was on the S5 as well as the Note 4. You have your capacitive back button here, and then you have your app switcher as well over here. As you can see, it's the fingerprint sensor is actually that sensitive. I just unlocked it. On the right side, you have your power button and nano SIM card tray. So if you're coming from a phone that was using a micro SIM card, you're going to need to just use the SIM card that was in it in the first place or in the box. You also have your volume rockers on the right side. On the bottom, you have your 3.5mm headset jack, micro USB port capable of quick charging. Even if you don't have a Samsung quick charger, you can use one of Qualcomm's certified quick charge 2.0 bases in order to get this sucker from 0 to probably 60% in about a half hour. It does have a smaller than average 2550 milliamp hour battery. The S6 Edge does have a 2600 milliamp hour battery. Just note that. But with 50 milliamp hours, you're not going to see the difference in battery life. Along the bottom again, micro USB headphone speaker grill, and then you have your microphone here. It is a monaural speaker, but it does get pretty loud. On the back here is all your lovely designation, the model number, and all that other good stuff at the bottom. T-Mobile, I believe, is the only one that has just S6 branding, whereas everyone else, Verizon, 4G, LTE, AT&T. I'm not sure what Sprint has. I'm assuming they also have the same thing as here. They also don't like to tramp stamp a lot. Samsung, blazoned, and then you have the 16 megapixel f1.9 optically stabilized camera that is humped a little bit, just so you know. And then you have your LED flash with blood oxygen and heart rate sensor next to that for your S Health applications. So that's it for the phone, and I'm going to go ahead and go over everything inside the phone and tell you exactly what I feel about it. So here we have the Samsung Galaxy S6 and all of its TouchWiz glory, which, by the way, it doesn't suck. For once, TouchWiz doesn't suck. It's fast, it's responsive, it's incredibly useful now, and I have absolutely no complaints about the software except for just a couple of minor things that they can probably tweak in a software update. That's the best thing about operating systems, is that you can tweak the software after the fact and it'll be awesome. So here we go. So here's all your menu systems. It's in a list instead of a stupid tabbed view now, which is all great. You also have all of your standard apps. I've already downloaded a bunch of my own, made it my own. I've got ADP for my pay from the job that I actually have now. Capital One to keep track of credit cards, of course, Facebook, Dropbox, Google Drive, Kick, Hangouts, Hulu Plus, Nissan Connect for my car, Pandora, Snapchat, SoundHound, YouTube, all the good classic stuff. The dialer is actually pretty nice. So from anywhere, I'm just going through my menus. If everyone just want the dialer, it's right there, and I just have to tap on anything in the top. And I really like this dialer. One of the things that TouchWiz always tried to be is organic, and they finally achieved that here. It's a very organic feeling with everything from answering a phone call to placing a phone call. Just the interface of everything is just flat out great. This thing charges faster than anything I've ever really charged before, but that's also because it has a smaller battery. I have been using the stock keyboard quite a number of times, and it's a great stock keyboard. If you're one of those people that just takes a phone and just starts using it and you don't care about customizing and making it your own, a la some iPhone users, then this is a great alternative to the iPhone, especially if cameras are important to you. Speaking of which, the cameras take fantastic images. I mean, just flat out stunning. Here, I'll even show you guys here. So here are some images on this lovely 1440p display that I took just yesterday. And the color, the vibrancy, the dynamic range, the contrast, everything is just fantastic. There's me being a goofball. So all of it is just simply fantastic. And even a shot like this, it's simple, but it just looks great, especially on this screen. And it doesn't look like anything's too punchy. We have yellow, we have a little red, we have the greens, and we have the sky in the background. Everything is just about spot on. I mean, just look at this thing. Honestly, you can't get a better camera. You just can't. It's going to be impossible. The only one that'll even try to come close is possibly the impending LG G4. Impending at the time of this review, that is. It's just a fantastic camera. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I can't sing the praises of this Samsung camera any more than anyone else. I just can't. Low light performance is great. Here, let me find that low light shot that I had real quick. So early on, I took a low light shot right in front of my house of a school. Oops, of a school, and just look at it. Just look at it. It's detailed. It's accurate. This is just about exactly what I saw when I was shooting at the school. Well, not shooting at the school, but when I took this in front of the school. Just look at it. Even the light blooms aren't even that destructive or that inaccurate. It's just, I cannot sing the praises of this camera any more than I already have. Let's see. I'm using Google Keep here to keep track of all my notes here, to be honest with you. So just bear with me here. Alright, so we have, we talked about the camera. TouchWiz really is that close to amazing. Lag sets in every so often, like if I go into the task switcher. That just little bit of hiccup isn't all that bad, but it's there. You can't adjust the length of the long press. This is where I start getting to the gripes. So if I were to long press and make an exclamation point right here, it took about 400 milliseconds. That's what most of those aftermarket keyboards do. They have the thing set to 400 milliseconds. If I could go in there and set the duration shorter to say 225 to 250 milliseconds, I'd be a much faster typer, in all honesty. Let's see here. Battery life. That's the weakness of this thing, is battery life. It's terrible. It's deplorable. I just can't stand it. Battery life is just something that needs work. I don't know if it's the device itself. The fact that it's a 2K display, or the fact that it's just a 2550 milliamp hour battery. They should have thickened the phone because of this stupid camera hump, which you can't. There we go. That stupid camera hump that you see right there. If they could have thickened the phone, flattened this whole thing out, and give it, say, I don't know, 27 or 2800 milliamp hour battery, they'd certainly have a winner on their hands. Additionally, if they, well, that's what they could have done with the battery life. On the flip side, though, even though it drains fast when you're using it, the standby time is great. And using quick chargers, even if it's Qualcomm quick chargers, is fantastic. Just super fast super fast charging and super fast. Just you can get back into the game as soon as you get this thing charged. It's that simple, but sometimes it isn't. So it's just what it is. Now, the phone is gorgeous. Don't get me wrong. This thing is just flat out beautiful. I mean, just look at this thing. Glass, sandwiching aluminum. It's just a gorgeous device. But that's the downside when it comes to heat. This thing gets hot. And I mean hot. During initial startup on this thing, let me go ahead and unlock it. I forgot about that fingerprint sensor. There we go. During initial setup, this thing got just hot, and the M9 and the LG G Flex are notable for becoming hot phones when in use. This sucker got hotter. Much hotter than I remember on the M9 during initial setup. I don't even want to try gaming on this thing because it'll probably try and burn my hand. It's terrible. They should have chosen a different choice of materials, especially for the back. Glass is such a fingerprint magnet. If I were you, case or skin. One of those two. Please, I'm begging you, case or skin. Otherwise, you're going to have fingerprints everywhere. And if you get the white or the gold model, it's not as bad. But if you get the sapphire black, oh man. Sapphire black is going to be such a pain for you. I'm telling you right now. Let's see. Again, coming from the HTC M9, the downward-facing speaker. Oh dear. Here, here, let me show you an example here. I'm going to pull up one of my favorite YouTubers, MKBHD, and you guys can check him out too. He's definitely one of my favorites, and he's also, in the same state as me. I'm from New Jersey, so is he. He actually comes down to around where I live to visit his mom. My girlfriend works at the Chipotle he goes to all the time, which is definitely funny. Dang it, I keep forgetting about that swipe inside. Let's see here, Marquez. Where are you, my good friend? There you are, buddy. And just to have a little, I guess you could say, S6ception, we're going to do the Samsung Galaxy S6 review. And of course, we're going to have to wait for the advertiser to clear up. So we're going to have to just wait on that for just a second.
Most dependable mid-size car.
Yeah, we got the the thing. I'm not going to show them because I don't want to, and I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble by them. Blah, 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 blah. Add, playthrough. Okay, here we go.
Hey, what is up guys, MKBHD here, and the Galaxy S has been Samsung's flagship smartphone for the past few years, and each version improves a bit on the previous version, of course. So this year we get this, the Samsung Galaxy S6. And not only is it, of course, the best Galaxy S yet, it's actually one of the best smartphones out there, period, in several ways. So, of course...
So, as you can hear from the audio on this thing, it's monaural. Just monaural. I can't stand it. It's annoying. One speaker. Why do manufacturers still do this? I don't get it. I really don't. I wish it did, but it don't. Additionally, when it gets to the loudest volumes, there's so much distortion. It's disgusting. If you're a media watcher, plug in headphones to this thing or get yourself an HTC One. It's that simple. But watching the video is a fantastic experience, and I love it. I just wished that the speaker on this sucker was a hell of a lot better in comparison, to anyone else. And again, the distortion on it is just terrible. I don't know how that. Samsung, what the hell did you do? It's that simple on that front when it comes to that. And then I talked about the heat. The fingerprint scanner, gotta touch on that, is incredibly accurate, but it can be a little finicky, especially with these lovely hands. They get very greasy and very oily. It's just my digital makeup, not digital, organic makeup, DNA, whatever. I guess I just produce too much grease, and sometimes this thing just isn't going to play nice with me. I mean, here it's finally being nice. Of course, when I'm trying to show how bad, or not bad, but how it reacts to someone with, wet or greasy hands or what have you. Yeah, see? And then it takes a second to sort of recognize it. You gotta do, 3 fingerprints, to be honest with you. And not 3 fingerprints. Do 2 on the main finger that you do. Do 1 on something you might do sometimes, and another one that you might do another time. You can only do 4 fingerprints. 4 fingerprints will be read by the scanner. But because it's a placeholder, not a swiper, it is just so much easier to handle. It really is. Going through the messaging app, I mean, it's pretty useful. I like it. Let's see, we go into phone, contacts. It still has that orangey look to it. Again, I like it. And it's got the lollipop influence in the bottom right to add a contact, that little floating icon, which is great. Overall, though, if you're in the market right now for basically a phone that does it all, that is a Swiss Army phone, basically, that'll do it all and then some, your best bet, one of your better bets is going to be the Samsung Galaxy S6. It is the iPhone of Android, basically. iPhones are best known for being all-in-one uses and great for everyone to use. They're dead simple to use and so on. Samsung has cut out all of the nonsense, all the tutorials that came along with TouchWiz, and have basically made it the simplest Android phone going thus far. Even though I love HTC, but that's a versus video for maybe another time. But if you're in the market for something that will just plain work, Samsung Galaxy S6. Definitely. Just so you know though, 32, 64, 128 gigabytes. It's all sealed in, no expandable storage, so please choose the right size for you so you don't go griping later. Alright? That's everything in a nutshell. If you have any questions, comments, you can leave them in the comment section below. If you want to go ahead and like the video, go ahead and like it. If you want to dislike it, dislike it. I want to hear your feedback. I want to get deeper into this, and I'll be more than happy to tell you guys what I've been experiencing in my first 48 hours. Yeah, that's right, 48 hours with the Samsung Galaxy S6.